In previous videos I've talked about taking plants from the nursery and converting them into Kratky type grow situations, and I was showing how I would get the little pots and pull them out of the pot and pull the soil off, rinse the soil off, and then stuff them into a 3-inch net pot. And lately I've realized that that is simply not necessary. A lot of things come in these little 3-inch pots, which would fit very nicely into a typical ball type of canning jar. Not perfectly, but maybe at a tilt, but good enough. And at the same time, a lot of these things have holes at the bottom, so that if they're allowed to be in a solution for a while, they will start to grow roots out the bottom of this pot. Maybe if you've had potted plants outside sitting on the ground, you've noticed that they will make roots through the bottom of the pot in the search for more water and nutrients and things. So that's the natural activity. When you first put this in, you want to have the solution come up a little bit on the bottom of the pot until you see the roots start to come out, but other than that, you're basically done with that. Now sometimes plants also come in square containers, sometimes 3 inches. I had some French lavender a while ago that was larger, but here again, you don't need to do anything like removing it from the pot. You can take a piece of plywood like this and cut a square hole in it, basically using the standard technique of drilling the corners and using a jigsaw or a coping saw to hollow out the interior. This one is 2 3/4. The hole is 2 3/4 deliberately. The idea is that this is going to sit a little bit above the level of the board while it grows. But what happens with these things is that if you only water them from the bottom, the top will eventually dry out completely, and what this allows is the passage of air into the plant so it can breathe as well as feed. Once you've got this done, basically you can just set this on some kind of container with no hole, and you want to fill it up so that the solution is 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch above the bottom, and kind of keep watching that until it establishes roots. But other than that, once this gets going, it will have the advantage of the Kratky method, which is that the plant can take as much water as it needs and grow as quickly as it can, along with the nutrients and so on. Now I'm going to take you outside and show you a kind of bigger example of this. So what you see here is a rosemary plant that I wanted to grow using the Kratky method, and I did buy some 5-inch net pots thinking I would pull this plant out of the pot and strip the roots and do all that stuff, and then I thought of this better idea. So what I did with this pot, I'm not going to take this apart to show you, but towards the bottom of the pot I drilled about 1/2 dozen 1/4 inch holes with a carbide bit, and this thing is now sitting in enough solution to be about 3/4 of an inch up the sides of the pot, and as it continues to grow, the roots will go down into the solution, and I'll have a true Kratky plant going here. So I'm doing this with various things. Here's a mint plant. Here's some winter boar kale. Over there I have some basil that's doing quite well. Down here I have a mint plant in soil in a pot. This one is going to get Kratky treatment pretty quickly too. In my indoor growing area I have this Fight grow light, which I bought for about $60, and I also have 2 of these Fight shop lights, nominally 4000K, that I bought for $20. The point I want to make right now is that I'm not seeing any significant difference in the growth produced by these 2 lights. So if you're just starting out, or if you're adding some lights or want to change lights or whatever, I think you should buy 3 of these shop lights for about $20 each, typically at Lowe's, instead of paying the $60 for the 2-foot grow light. That does not seem to make any particular difference in the outcome.